Hey, what is up guys? It is your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be going over 10 of the top mistakes that mid laners consistently make, and therefore they get held back. They don't gain MMR nearly as fast as they should. In fact, they might even lose MMR. Probably will lose MMR because of these mistakes. So if you guys are excited for this video, please smash the like button and subscribe. And of course, sign up to the GameLeap website, 50% off right now to get some of the best content. It is a limited time offer, so if you don't get it now, you may never get a 50% off deal. That's half, right guys? That's pretty quick math. By the way, I post every single day. You guys probably know that by now, a lot of you, but if you're new here, welcome. If you don't know about the GameLeap website, all the content we post is not here on YouTube. A lot of it is also over on the website, and it is new, exclusive content on very cool topics. A lot of things that I know will apply to you guys. I've listed some awesome videos recently that we're making. I also just made a full Medusa course. I mean, there's so many things coming to the website that I'm excited to share with you. So for 50% off, click the link down below right now. Go sign up. And I hope to see you guys there, because I really do believe if you click that link and sign up, you're going to learn so much and gain MMR very quickly. Now, let's get into the video. So the first mistake that mid laners make is that they trade into the wave too early. Now, what do I mean by trading into the wave? What I mean is when they auto-attack their opponent, instead of walking backwards, they walk forwards or stand still. This might sound simple, but it's something that if you watch a top-tier pro player do, they'll do it consistently. The only time, and I want to clarify before I show you the clip, I want to go ahead and show you. The only time you want to stand in a creep wave and hit your opponent is if you are a very high armor or tanky hero, such as Timbersaw with reactive armor, or if the matchup is super good, right? Maybe they're also low on HP, right? You're 100% HP, they're 20%. You can afford to sacrifice a little bit of health to zone them out. That's fine. But when you're both equal HP early into the wave, don't do that. You want to hit and move back the large majority of the time, especially if the matchup is even. And let's go over a quick little example here. We'll be looking at this game for most of the points, and so let's get into it. You're going to see that the Storm is against a PA. What does that mean? Well, it's a ranged hero against a melee hero. Typically, that means you can punch the melee hero, right? I feel like most people know that. But look at how the Storm does it. He walks up here, and when he hits the PA, you'll notice that he sort of stands still. He doesn't move back, right? So he hits, and then, of course, he misses, the PA took a blur, which is that's another mistake in itself. She needs Dagger to secure creeps, such as range creeps, so that Storm can't zone him off them. But nonetheless, he didn't move back. Because he doesn't move back, he's going to tank a bunch of creeps. Now, for Storm, it's not the end of the world, but it still matters. After all, he just took 100 damage from creeps. 100! People don't realize this. Literally, look. Okay, it's more like 90. But you see the point? Just because he didn't walk backwards, he took 100 damage. And these things, of course, add up. And on top of that right there, he actually tanked a tower hit, and so on. And all of a sudden, he's missing 200 health. Now, could he eat a tango? Yes. Honestly, I didn't even see this early on. He doesn't even have the tango in his inventory. This is so bad. That is so bad for trading. It's insane. Already, right off the bat, this is so many mistakes. And by the way, guys, this is a legend game. So this is what most players do. Trust me, look at your games. So as we continue to watch the lane, you'll see that this mistake happens over and over and over again. He will constantly hit the PA and tank creeps, and that is the reason why he is half HP when the PA is nearly full, in a matchup that I'm not going to say is super favorable for Storm early on, it's not, but definitely is not this bad. The second thing that he does wrong, and that most mid laners do wrong, is that they do not adapt their skill build to the matchup. So, let's talk about a couple matchups and a couple skill builds that need to be adapted. First things first, we have, let's say, Ember against Quap. If you're playing Ember against Quap, what do you want to take at level 1? Typically, you want to take Sleight of Fist. The reason being is so that you can dodge daggers. Let's say you're playing Void Spirit against Quap. Same thing applies. You want to take Dissimulate, just to dodge daggers to secure range creeps. There are actually some other options in the Void Spirit Quap matchup, but keep that in mind, guys. But I hope that makes sense, right? And now, you might be saying, Speed, then why are we watching this clip? Look what he took at level 3. He took a second point in Static Remnant. It goes up in mana, and it goes up in damage by 55. Instead, he could take Electric Vortex, which is not only a stun, it pulls enemy melee heroes, specifically melee heroes typically, into the creep wave, and does extra damage. It also gives you another proc of Overload, which is 40 damage. It's also an attack speed slow and a movement speed slow. It also allows you to actually use your Static Remnant. You can't really land Static Remnants unless you have pull or the enemy has to hardcore overextend. And so against melee heroes or favorable matchups, you should always take pull at level 3, but he doesn't, and therefore he's not going to be able to pressure the PA nearly to the extent that he should. And the next point, guys, it's not even part of my video, I just have to say this. It took him 2 minutes to ship out a salve, and because of this, his salve gets cancelled, and he has to TP back to base. I mean, he nearly lost the lane to a Phantom Assassin, and that's Storm. It's really just adding up all the little things, and I hope you guys can see that. Because he tanked the creep wave and a few tower shots, and doesn't buy extra regen, and doesn't take pull, and doesn't auto-attack the PA enough, and doesn't draw creep aggro, he tanks a bunch of damage, gets sent back to lane, and now is losing to a Phantom Assassin. So the next mistake that people often do is they rotate without slight planning. Now, I don't expect you to have a 10-part business plan in order to gank a side lane. You don't need to come up with the Bible to gank the side lanes. You just have to have an idea. You have to at least look at the heroes and understand the matchups on a basic level so that you can actually learn from your games as well. So this game, for instance, does he want to gank a Void? Probably not. Unless the Void has already committed his Q and he knows this for whatever reason, he could gank the Void. Now for the Pangolier, can he gank a Pango? Likely the only thing he should be concerned about is the Rolling Thunder. If Pango happens to be level 6, it can be a very hard kill for Storm. So this game, I would actually expect him to gank the safe lane more so than the off lane. I'm referring to his safe lane and the enemy off lane. And we'll see what the Storm does. He might do it right, we'll have to see. And so 7 minutes and 30 seconds into the game here, his AM and Snapfire are about to get dove bottom, and he decides to TP in. Now, the only gripe I have is that he TP'd here instead of here. The reason why I would TP here instead of here is so that they can't see you coming. You don't want them to have vision, because then they'll react. In this case, the Pango does end up reacting, but obviously it's a little bit too late. You know, and pretty solid spellcasting. The sad thing is that he wouldn't have had to use so much mana if he had a point and pull, but hey, nonetheless, a great rotation by the Storm. But, you know, all good things come at a price, right? Well, I guess they don't have to, but in this case, such a great gank, but then he ruins it. He wants me to, literally makes me want to rip my brains out. He's popping his bottle, and he has 5 int items. 5. He has an arcane ring. This gives him 10 int. He has 2 circlets, a mantle, and a wand. Backpack them, and then bottle. It gives you so much more mana. Why would you not do it? Every single time you are AFK walking to an area and you have bottle charges and need to regen, you should always backpack your items, especially right here. Alright, so he farms up this camp, great. He's walking back to lane. He's not farming anything, he's not fighting anything, and he just pops the bottle charge. It honestly brings me pain. You guys don't even understand. I literally feel pain in my body because of that. It actually makes me feel pain. The next mistake that I'd like to talk about is that mid laners often forget to jungle at minute 7. Now, I'd like to go back and, hey, I know I'm ripping this guy to pieces, you know, I'm being pretty hard on him, but I would love to say that I love one of the plays that he makes. It's actually extremely good. So at minute 6:45, he's gonna walk over to the small camp. Right? And what I love about this is he doesn't clear it. A lot of players will clear this here, but it's about to be minute 7. It's very important to stack right before minute 7. You can even stack before minute 6 and wait to take the stack, right? But nonetheless, he goes for the stack, ends up not getting it. Okay, that's not the end of the world, you know, it happens. I mess up stacks too. It is what it is. But right here, he takes the camp. Minute 7, immediately. Because of that, he gets an arcane ring. That's huge, right? Instantly, he has more int, the ability to regen mana. It's perfect. Extremely good play on his part, and a lot of people forget to do this. It is absurdly beneficial, especially if you're playing heroes that require a lot of mana to play to take neutral items. Why? Because there are so many mana neutral items, right? It's insane. Just to list a couple off: Mango Tree, Royal Jelly, Ironwood Tree thingy, whatever you call it, Ocean Heart. Did I forget one? Not Royal Jelly, Arcane Ring. There's a ton of them. Now, even for right clickers, right? Let's say you're playing PA mid. What could you get? Iron Talon. Oh my god, she's rushing a Battle Fury. Iron Talon, though. So getting into my 6-point here, I just want to talk about runes. Runes are very important in Dota. They actually can often dictate how the mid lane goes, especially in high MMR games. Whether or not someone gets a haste or a DD or an arcane rune, or even just, you know, auto charges, it often has nothing to do with the rune. It's game changing, so in this case, I don't like what he does. We're at 9:40 here, and he goes to jungle. This is not a good time to jungle. He has no bottle charges, and sure, you could say, well, he could get a jungle item for his team, and he could just contest the rune now. Yes, but the reason why you often want to shove the lane that's coming up before the runes, rather than jungling, is because then the opponent will either have to contest the rune or get the creep wave. If they contest the rune after you shove the wave and they haven't, what will happen is they will lose experience because the wave will die under their towers. So right here, instead of pushing the wave now, he should have pushed it before and then contested the rune. But because he doesn't, the enemy PA steals his haste. That's not a small deal. That's a huge deal. That haste is massive. It's 3 bottle charges. Those bottle charges allow him to take 3, 4, 5 more camps, right? It's huge. It also allows him to easily gank top right now. Like, if you just wanted to haste to this engagement, he could. I think most players just don't regard runes as highly as they should. So next up here, we see Starblex get a nice little kill in the mid lane, and he's gonna start heading back to base. And the mistake that he makes here, the 7th mistake of the video, is that he does not look at the map when he's going back to base. Right here, this is the best time for you to look at the map. Why? Because there's nothing to do. There's no one threatening you, there's no one you have to kill, there's nothing to do. And so the only thing you can do is look at the map and gather information. What should we gather here? Well, what I gather is that the Void is farming top, the Jakiro is mid, and that the PA has TP'd bottom. And because of this, I would largely consider TPing bottom. Why? Because I know that there's not a lot of heroes backing her up temporarily. My Snapfire is farming mid, which is totally fine. It's great to give support some farm here and there. And most importantly, the PA now has no TP. So if you kill her, she loses even more efficiency. Also, the Anti-Mage is in position, and he could easily help out with the kill, right? Just because he's an Anti-Mage doesn't mean he can't help. And so this was a huge opportunity for him to go bottom here and quickly kill this PA. After all, look at her items. People get away with this stuff in low armor games, or medium to low armor games, because people don't punish it. They don't look at the map. They don't check items. Like, if I see that this guy has no boots battle fear, I'm going to do my best to close the map down on him. That doesn't mean I'm going to hit no creeps. That just means I'm going to look at the map, and if there's a situation like this, I'm going to try to kill him. Yeah, so instead he kind of just AFK farms mid, nothing really happens, and, you know, instead he could have gotten an easy double kill bottom. I really mean that. I mean, his items make him significantly stronger than the PA at this stage of the game. Obviously, her Battle Fury rushes, you know, she's a little bit scary, but not really. And the next point I have to make, the 8th point, I could have said it the entire video. Guys, I held back. Alright, I'm trying to be a nice guy in this video, even if it doesn't seem like I'm trying to be a nice guy, okay? So, the whole game, he has purchased 0 clarities, unless I missed it, okay? Maybe I missed one. But from what I've watched, he has purchased 0! How can you? I have not played a single Storm game in my last 50 Storm games where I have not bought at least 5. And if you guys could find one, just go tweet it. You can make fun of me. But I don't remember. I highly doubt I've played a Storm game where I haven't bought 5 to 10 clarities. You need them. You need them to fight. You need them to farm. You need them to be active. If you do not buy clarities, you're going to die because you have 300 less mana than you currently do. It's kind of a simple concept, but clarities are a broken item. I don't care if you're playing Storm, I don't care if you're playing Lina, I don't care if you're playing Ember Void Spear. If you are spamming your spells to farm and fight, and you are a hero that does not, you know, like have an easy way to go back to base, you need to buy clarities. You might be saying speed, but he's regenerating really fast, he has a Kaya. Why would he waste his gold? You need to be constantly farming. Right here, he should be spamming his remnants in the jungle. Spamming them. Instead, he's like walking around. Okay, I mean, this is a good kill. But right here, look. He's 200 mana. You should buy clarities when you are full mana. Literally, if you are leaving the base, you should buy clarities if you are full mana, because you will use them eventually. If you don't use them eventually, it literally means your brain is off and you're playing with your feet because you're probably casting no spells. Nonetheless, he's going to try to siege a mid-tier 2 here with no mana. This is a Legend Classic, guys. You gotta love it. I love this. I'm literally gonna call it the Legend Classic. No. It sounds better if I call it the Crusader Classic. So I'll call it the Crusader Classic. This happens from basically every bracket that's below 5k. Which is, even though you have no resources, let's push the closest tower because I'm trying to throw the game. After all, I have an Anti-Mage farming, a scaling CK, a scaling Storm, but, you know, I gotta end the game at minute 18. And to end off the video, I have a nice little 1-2 punch coming up here from Starblex, but he's going back, he's walking around, he's basically out of resources. I like what he does here. He's like, okay, I'll farm a little camp on my way back. That's great, but I think a lot of mid players, the mistake that they make, point number 9, is that they are afraid to go back to base, or that they think it's efficient to not go back to base. If you're a bottle hero, and you're super low on resources, just go back to base, especially if you farm the camp in the game that is closest to the base. It's efficient at that point. And instead, I don't know what he's doing. I have no clue why. What is this? He walks halfway to the base. Okay, not really, but he takes a couple steps to the base. Then he walks out to this camp, farms the camp, vortexes it, which is whatever, you know, you do you. Steps forward, walks back, walks to the camp, and starts walking back. That was the most inefficient thing I've ever seen in my life. And don't worry, point number 10, it gets worse than there. What is this? You have 500 mana. Zip back to base. I just genuinely don't understand why he wouldn't zip back to base. Do people just not care about playing the game fast? Like, I just can't understand it. I'll go in free camera because his player perspective is across the map. You have 400 mana. Why would you not go from here to here? If you want my real efficiency tip, if you're looking to get back to base as fast as possible, you should zip from here to here, and then from here to here, right? That's the fastest way. Instead, he takes like the longest route possible, all the way here, and instead of using his last 400 mana to go back to base, he walks all the way back and summons some peppers. This is why I am banning all of these things from GameLeap members. You are not allowed to buy any cosmetics, consumables, whatever you call them, battle pass. You're all banned, all right? And that's where we're going to end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, smash the like button and subscribe. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to GameLeap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster. Because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream, and that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're gonna see there, and I hope to see you there right now. So click it, and yeah, thanks for watching.